2 best-of-5s a day, so that's going to be really tiring and a test of endurance as well, right?
Wow. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of motivation to not lose this series. You do not want to play that one. You want to go in fresh going into the grand finals. That is best-case scenario.
Yeah.
Of course, you have to choose your own destiny. You must control it. You must beat the other team in front of you. It's not going to be a small feat, though.
Well, speaking of choosing, now we're into the draft of the very first game. BSE and DMT. Now they prioritize onto the U1 for BSE. A lot of pocket picks, especially the Agudo and the amazing pick, which was turned to be a bit of experiment back in the knockout stage, but now prioritizing the U1, it has been amazing getting the Bannock Dharma as well.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the Agudo, right, I was speaking to their coach and their manager, Joker, and he was telling me that the fact that they wait for the Agudo is because it doesn't require a lot of mechanics, right? He's there just to kind of take those creeps within the jungle, and then you can use Smite to release them again, and then you can also use Agudo for those siege mechanics, right? So the movement speed increase within his first ability as well, so there's a lot to it, but there's not much in terms of, say, for example, like a Luna or something that's heavily reliant on the Azure Golem.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a change of play style, right? I think BSE right now are going to go to their tried and true, a little bit more traditional, right? The Yuhan, they're 2-0. They are the best thus far in the playoffs with that hero. Great hero pickup, but they're going to go with the Lianpo, who has kind of had mitigating success, not the greatest. Lady Soon, most picked in the playoffs, has like a 42% win rate, not the highest for BSE, but nonetheless, it's still a great farm laner going in.
So you guys mentioned about the mechanics, right? Lianpo has been great with BSE. Some teams like Lianpo is not great with us right now, and it has been a difficult tank to just roam around the map. But one thing that DMT respects is the Liu Bang being present in BSE, which turned out to be a great complement of success in initiating team fights. Blam, you mentioned about the mechanics here for Musang King. We know how this guy performs micro and macro wise. Maybe having the good is like, okay, just going down, throwing down 4-ball, and just make attention happen for DMT.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is here, right, they've still got the last 2 picks on the side of BSE, and we saw it yesterday that the Huon was actually flexed, right? So they prioritized it, but they flexed it into the mid lane, but it then decided that they were going to open up the jungle for another pick. So we could still see the Agudo come through, we could still see the likes of Doom, but the Ganamo coming through here on DMT is going to be a really nice setup for Zhang Fei, right? And the same with the Byron, the knockups, the Unbridled Outburst, those couple blades are going to be deadly.
Yeah, everything that you want, right? I mean, if you're going to go with like a nice little combination, the Ganamo and Zhang Fei, right to your point, Blam, both very good. Ganamo is what? 61% win rate. It has it's been selected 18 times. Zhang Fei has been the hero of this entire tournament. He's been picked 20 times. He has a 75% win rate. If you're not picking him, especially in the first phase, you're going to be losing out. Dominator has done their homework. They know what they need to bring to this game here.
Well, speaking of bringing something in for this match, BSE taking the last pick with the Angela, which is so effective. If you look at the appeal here of DMT, you have the Gan and Mo, you have the Zhang Fei, and this is like a growing meta of a combo. Like, how do you melt the Zhang Fei's hard front line? And with this kind of situation, the Musashi, how about the reach here? They know there's some meltdown from the Angela, but how's the Musashi, sir?
Again, this is just another setup for the Ganamo, right? So the duel to death is going to be able to knock them up, keep them in place, or even the Illuminate Slash with the slow, right? Just keep them in that range for Jurl in that mid lane for DMT. But I'm really surprised that BSE gave over the Zhang Fei, considering yesterday, when we saw the series between Nova and Blacklist, they completely got rid of that Zhang Fei for both teams, right?
Oh my goodness. Okay, if that explains something that might change here from BSE, because they kind of want to give, okay, go with your comfort picks, go with your strong ad, but this is like a test on how the execution will go. It's game number 1. We're taking a last look at the draft here between BSE and DMT. Let's see who has the better execution overall in the early stages of the game.
Yeah, I think the matchup to watch really is going to be Xiang on the Sun Tzu. He's 1-0. He's done all right. He tends to play the buy-in, but the buy-in has been banned out, so unfortunately it's going to be with the Sun Tzu. There's going to be a lot of potential for those ganks with those boats that are sailing in. Is he able to get in on the right time? Is he going to, there's going to be a lot of pressure on him to make those plays.
Yeah, speaking of that play in question, right? We notice how Ze and JR prioritize this mid lane movement and rotation mainly because of the Zhang Fei and of course Toshi B in here. It's like a funneling through an early momentum for the Lady Sun, but one thing also, it's just Ze just taking around of how minutes will be controlled early on.
Yeah, I mean, the rotation was needed, right? Because if we saw that Lady Sun went down to the bot lane, as we saw that Ganamo was already there, so going against a Lady Sun and the Ganamo outranges the Lady Sun many times and hurts like a truck in the early game. We see Byron is actually winning the 1v1 here into the Clash lane for now. See Pangs is on the run as they push the T1 as well, so already a bit of an upset in the Clash lane.
Yeah, this has been the start for these two teams. They either go with a momentum start in the Clash lane, but hold that.
Oh, hold that thought. We did see the Burst Ram and the Magma Slam come through, so nothing is going to come out of that one just yet. A little bit of a scare tactic.
Yeah, scare, which is poke and peel. Lian Po at this stage of the game, not going to do much just yet, mainly of the hostile sustainability and also that skill for the knock-in and knock-out. But this is like a moment for Zhongfei just go around busy, does not hit level 4, could make a difference.
The extreme speed into the duel of death. We are going to get the Undying Sorrow, and any sorrow here. Oh, the untargeted ball from the Q1 saving Joel, but it's going to be Toshi getting first blood onto JR.
Yeah, Toshi, you got to watch out for this guy. At a moment's notice, he's going to go in and out. He is great on this Arlie. He's 2-0, I believe, and he's got some pills, but here's another one.
Are they going to end it there? Is Toshi going to go in for a second kill? No, not quite, not quite. Toshi's like, let me just keep myself a bit more composed.
Okay, but right now the crowd is slowly not being composed and giving them their all. It just DMT having the first blood, a momentum starter, but it needs to translate on something, because one thing that we saw from Musan King here is the AoE. Yuan is just so important in team style, play style, because this actually blends with everything. Like in AoE, you have tanks. No wonder they're trying to hold it through.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? We saw in the team-winning interview with Sun yesterday that he respected JR as the best farm lane in the competition, and then we've just got Toshi getting the first kill. Yes, it's early, but that's showing a good sign for DMT, right?
Yeah, that's a great start. That's kind of how you want to start these kinds of games, right? You want to ensure that you start, like, take the fight to them. You want to come out swinging. You do not want to give BSE anything. If they get a lead, they end up closing it out because they have such great map control, something that you need to be aware of. BSE is great in that early game to kind of secure them that lead.
I think that kind of window could be capitalized by Team Malaysia right now, because what we see here, you know how the Arlie works in the early stage of the game? Not too much just yet. That's why we see rotation and guard up for Gerald, Gun, and Mo here to accomplish with the peel. Look at this. Those different slowly speaking for Toshi.
Yeah, you can see here Toshi's at the 2.3, whereas you see JR is only 2k, just about. Again, another 1v1 going up into the Clash lane here. We do see a rotate from Musan King and Zhuang here as well. Is it going to be enough? The stun comes through. Pangs goes down in the Clash lane. So great rotation there from BSE.
Yeah, that's the control that you have for a U1. Combining with the Angela, we're seeing eyes on how Zihong here and Musan King quickly found out an opening against DMT. Getting their first score here, they might want to secure on how to counter damages as well. So with this, a great start for these two teams, and this would actually dictate on who's going to get the first objective right onto this game.
Yeah, that's going to be massive for them. I mean, Musan King making his way over to that top lane, converting on it. That's the most important thing. Turning that into a counter kill, and it looks like they've taken the Tyrant as well. BSE now, this is a dangerous, a precarious situation for Dominator, right? You let them get that in with that Tyrant there.
Yeah, it's a really good use of the Lian Po, right? Using the Burst Ram, using the Magma Slam, just to keep them out of that neutral objective area. And it did very well for BSE. Pays dividends, they get the neutral objective, and they're slowly clawing back that goal lead.
I think that's one important to know, right? Because Lian Po versus Zhongfei, it's kind of like, I'm leaning towards more the Zhongfei and how crowd control frontline is like a really great way to extend team fights, but for Lian Po, it's getting on the items, and the zoning is just really important for JR to just pop off and get those minion waves in. That's why we see rotation as well from Zihong, just to make sure that nothing comes close from DMT.
Let's be honest, the Lian Po is much more difficult of a hero to play, right? Going up against the Zhongfei, you're going to have a bit of a struggle, especially if you get the Unbridled Outburst on, and it takes you a little bit of time to get that Tremor Smash going. I mean, it looks like they're going to go in the bottom lane, just kind of zone them away more than anything else.
Yeah, they can't do anything but zone up. But look at this. Oh, Freddy.
Freddy's in the back line there, onto the Angela. We already see the Blazing Brilliance come through, so CC Immunity. The Unbridled Outburst does come through, but it's a set sail from Siang as well. They get the kill onto Freddy. Can we see DMT turn this around in the favor? No, Musan King gets the kill onto L as well, and then we are going to be seeing a little bit more in terms of the trade, so it is a 2-2 trade after all for DMT and BSE.
Man, they read through that, but DMT know exactly how to defend that position. Amazing entry from Sunset alone, but that completely changed a lot of things when going back onto the finish stage. Going back to this replay, guys.
I mean, it looked like it was going to be in favor of BSE. Yeah. They got that first 2 kills. Sian going in with a perfect poke, setting it up, but L was like, no, I'm the aggressor here. You're trapped in here with me. He actually turned it off. Yeah, he died for his life, but he set it up. Everybody was together, so Gerald could get those couple blades in. Now Toshi is knocking on that door on that bottom T1. You've taken a lot of structural damage. You are in a bad spot, BSE.
Yeah, I mean, the Magma Slam there was really detriment to Jut, right? Like, he used that, it kind of put him in place, and it was a little bit unfortunate for the side of BSE because it allowed Dominator just to kind of close in and take the kill.
Man, we're slowly seeing the power spike of the lineup of DMT. Blam was talking about earlier how the Musashi here could really create like a death triangle on how they want to reach the backline of BSE, and follow-up comes through. The positioning of Jurl here is just so important. No wonder they got the trade right away.
Yeah, but it kind of started with Freddy being in a bad spot. He was in the heart of the enemy team. There was 1 versus 4 trying to fight it. He got bursted earlier. If somebody else, let's say L were to go in, or Shipangs were to kind of start that team fight off, then he goes as a second initiator, he would have done much better, and he would have probably survived and done way more damage.
Okay, so positioning is key here, guys. So a bit of a start here for a 3-3. Slowing going neck and neck. Will they go in for commitment here, either for these or just checking who's in the bush? But how's the items doing here?
In terms of itemization, we got obviously the typical kind of build from the Musashi, the Blood Rage. You see the second tier item for the Eye of the Phoenix, and then you're more likely going to see that Dragon Scale for the Dragon Rage, which has been very popular within these jungle players. The Blazing Brilliance does connect. It's trying to just deter them away from this T1 in the mid lane.
Okay, it's like the force of the zone out on these two roamers, commending Zay and L, not letting go of the most important places on they where need to be in such team fights. No wonder they're also respecting the fact that DMT has already grown the power spike from Toshi. So with this kind of line slowly building in, I'm looking at the map right now. On the side of push, DMT, slowly they're closing in maps and taking out turrets as well from bottom and to the top lane.
Yeah, and they've done a good job of just kind of, you know, harass or like surviving in the mid lane. They just need to slow it down. Oh, they need to be a little bit careful.
They do need to be careful. We get the stun onto Toshi. He has to recall back into the back line of his team. Freddy actually gets caught out here. He's like, oh, we was expecting that to go in a little bit more of the favor of DMT, so he had to kind of just deter and go back to the farm.
But that wasn't actually the true fight. The actual push was in the bottom lane. The Vanguard did a little chip damage on that bottom piece. Freddy probably could have stayed. I mean, he thought that BSE were going to look to actually go 4 versus 3 in that mid lane. That's why he made a beeline to kind of help out with the team, but unfortunately, they only did a little bit of chip damage.
Yeah, the damage also will really show on how the map will be controlled by DMT. They know how BSE plays around the map, and they're literally respecting the fact on what could happen with the Tyrant as well. We're seeing the attention here of DMT slowly, but the Tyrant, I think, is not the mission as of this moment. Okay, set sail already in motion. Who's going to be hit?
Oh, is it going to be Freddy? Oh, no, he gets extreme speed out of there for now, and then we are seeing he's a little bit too caught off. It's a fight on 2 fronts. Jet gets out, so he doesn't fall here. Again, DMT are controlling these team fights very well. A lot of people, when you asked them DMT or BSE, it was always BSE, but DMT are bringing some flavors here, just like the Blazing Brilliance, the Magma Slam coming through as well, but the couple blades from the Gunamo. Jill, I feel like this actual draft here from DMT has so much potential within it.
It's all about the meta heroes, right? I mean, having that Zhangfei and plus the Ganon Mo, you have so much damage and you're protected. You have that buffer. That's what keeps Ganon Mo alive. Great play. Dominator right now are not only are they ready for this fight to BSE, but they're playing, their team fight has been on another level right now.
Okay, one thing to note, 2 items between Ganon Mo and Lian Pose has been early peeled out of damage. Almost 1 HP was left in his HP bar just to maintain that fight, and that was like the missing factor for a comeback. And Jurl here has the Scepter of Invasion already, but BSE's Lian Po is not yet onto the magic defense. It's kind of like a pressure for Sunset or Sion to move around in motion as well.
Yeah, you can already see like the actual pick here of the Ganamo, right? Because we need Ganamo to have items, it's kind of affecting Freddy's actual resources as well, right? Because he's behind Musan King, but Jurl is way ahead of Xiang in the mid lane. So you can kind of see what they're going for on the side of the MTs, making sure they keep Ganamo fat so he can just absolutely just destroy with those couple blades.
Yeah, gotta give him space. Let him farm, let him get to his level. But Dominator Esports, you have the lead, but you're actually playing very defensively on your side of the river. You're not looking to take any sort of fights. They need to turn this lead into some sort of objective. They need to put more pressure elsewhere. They haven't been able to do that. BSE have been kind of pushing on all fronts and just sending them back.
Okay, both needs to chill out right now because positioning-wise for BSE and DMT has the upper hand right now, man. They have so much speed, they have so much initiating factor, and L has the Rage Bar also ready for any moment that they want to go for a counter-initiate. They can be dictating a lot of pace. Look at the position here of Freddy as well. Oh man, they're forming a triangle for a sandwich, possibly an ambush for BSE, and nobody's checking.
Yeah, but it only works so many times, right? Like, if we see this happen too many times, it's going to be predicted by Musan King, because he has the knowledge. He's played against the best of the best junglers, right? But here, we can kind of see the BSE are just using this as bait. They know they want the Shadow Tyrant. It's going to really give over to Toshi, but it is going to be another fight, but DMT are going to control it. BSE, Musan King goes down thanks to Toshi as well. Set Sail coming through just a little bit late. We may see a little bit of a U-turn here. Is he going to connect onto Zhongfei? It doesn't actually connect, so BSE, starting on a bad foot of this team fight, takes the neutral objective.
This is the brilliance of the Churl, Gon, and Mo, right? Yeah, you want to unending Charl. Yeah, you're going to get the safety, but can you get away from the couple blades? Not possible in this case. Dominator having a great counter draft, and they're actually pushing the T1 down right here.
I'm loving the game sense of DMT right now. In the first scenario that Xiang initiated that Set Sail, he was the first one to initiate, but DMT no, where there was some hesitations coming in from BSE, it was the tight corner that really forced Musang King into be in a tight defense. So right now, they need to be wary because the adjustment of DMT in terms of initiating, it's very quick.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the terms of the gold difference as well, right, it's still very, very slim. Like, 2k gold is nothing. That's just one bad team fight away from the other team, taking the pendulum and swinging it in their motion. But for now, they are trying to set up this mid lane. They are trying to just get some priority on the side of BSE. We know the great macro players, right? So we're going to see a little bit of a focus shift between these side lanes.
Well, speaking of the side lane, this is just the build-up. The DMT is really dictating. We're looking at a flow of minion waves from the top to bottom, which would really get them really in a bad start if they do not get this enhanced Overlord. This is like the position of DMT right now. They can dictate defense, which they have been doing, and they need to have a way to counter this off if you are BSE.
Yeah, but BSE has done a good job, right? They're sticking together as 4. They're letting Xiang split push in the bottom lane, so that's alleviating some of the pressure. If they do go for a big team fight in their jungle, they're going to be ready because they have the numbers. Xiang can come in at a moment's notice. It looks like he's going to be going in with a boat right now. But again, this is how you want to play the map. What is DMT giving you, and BSE has taken that.
Do you see that there, though? How he was actually looking for Freddy? They know that he always hangs around that Crimson Golem, man. Yeah. He's like, hey, let's use Set Sail to find Freddy.
Yeah, they have to read where this guy is going because Freddy on the positioning could really mean business here for DMT. That kind of reaches an automatic delete for Musang King or even for Zihong or even for JR. Freddy knows who to target here in most cases, but they need to have a read as well. Initiation, coming from BSE.
Only hitting one, so let's not get carried away here. So the Tremor Smash was a little bit too early, a little bit preempt, or was it to DMT's favor? We're actually countering it pretty well. The stun does come through from the Q1 here. Xipangs was trying to wait in the brush, but caught out by Xiang as well. Very nice play. The Blazing Brilliance connects and takes down DMT Earl. So they're already down that Zhongfei, right? That's a vital part of this team fight for DMT.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to convert into an Overlord. L right now, he was kind of baiting them out. He was about half-life looking for that Umbrella outburst, but he just got stun locked and he got Blazing Brilliance to death. He got burned, but it looks like they want to go maybe push them away. If anything, Musang King takes the Overlord here.
Okay, so the Set Sail does connect. It disembarked from the boat, but is it going to be enough to keep Xiang alive? He does go down. Freddy goes into the backline as well, so that is still currently a 1-1 trade for now. It was the Zhongfei that fell earlier, so technically still 1-0 for DMT. But man, Joel on the Ganemo is really putting a lot of pressure onto BSE. I think we could be seeing a prio ban here on Ganemo.
Pressure and damage, and that could be the respect ban on the next series. But this is like a thing that DMT was really shaken off when L was the first one to go down. But the kind of defense they did into the top lane really only tells that DMT has more ways to secure that kind of counterplays that they can do against BSE, and they need to be worried. But good thing, BSE got this, and they could buy more time with this enhanced Overlord.
Yeah, but speaking of ready, Freddy going into the backline there, but the Blazing Brilliance connects so perfectly there. But then Bridal Light Burst doesn't hit any of the side of BSE. This could be the upset. This is where they start to open up the side of DMT. It's a double kill going over to Jiang as well. But that was a really nice play there by BSE. It's kind of alleviating the gold lead, and it's trying to diminish the lead in gold that Toshi has over JR.
I mean, it was a good counterplay right there by BSE. I think Dominator were trying to take a fight that they weren't really 100% having that perfect angle, especially when you're going to Umbrella outburst people away from you. If you had that other angle where you push it into your own team, you have a better chance, and maybe you split up the fight. BSE were sticking together. They were able to take that alleyway, and they made them pay, taking that 2-on-1 trade.
So this is like the wonders of these two teams, right? We're looking at top-tier teams right now in the semi-finals. Off-cam killed there, by the way. And Xipangs was spotted out by Xiong. This is the wonders of the last 4th pick, Angela, mainly because of the frontline defense of the team lineup of DMT.
Yeah.
They kind of forgot about that in a way, but I think they're more prepared to answer. But so far, Zihong really knows where to position, not get killed right away, and these kind of kills that they have been doing, really slowly shaking things up for DMT.
But this is the pro of BSE, right? They just wait. They have you. When you play BSE, you're fighting on a timer. You are fighting on their terms into the late game, and there we go. Al gets taken down. They know what they're doing. They've taken their moments to think about how to tackle this team fight against DMT. It's taking down the Zhongfei. It's making sure that Xipeng's is down and making sure that Joel is far, far away from that team fight that they can't do anything against it with a couple blades.
Okay, so this is like the question. Who can be in front right now for DMT? This is like the question, right? I know L is down as well. BSE knows what could be the position here, but okay, they're marching in the base right now.
Yeah, their only go-to is Freddy, right? We see the duel at Death trying to take down the Lady Sun, but there's just so much damage on the side of BSE. Another kill going over to their mid laner. So Angela's just getting fed into this late game. We see the Void Staff coming through, so any kind of tank that's on the side of DMT is just going to get shredded for now.
Yeah, I just feel like Freddy is just kind of forcing the issue. He needs to calm down. I know that you're playing in front of other people, and I know that there's a lot of pressure on it, but it's one of those things that you have a lead.
Yeah.
You don't need to be going into the heart of the enemy team, 1 versus 4, trying to take the fight. The rest of your team is very slow. Again, I like Musashi is more of a second initiator and not the initial one.
Oh yeah, that kind of mistakes they need to really look forward to. Look, Sunset is about here.
Oh, again, they're picking off Xipeng's. They're just trying to get the Byron. They don't want him going in with a force field suppression, giving that shield over to his team, getting a knock up onto the backline, but I just want to give a little bit of a shine here to BSE. We were talking about it maybe 5 minutes ago about Xiang opening up these side lanes, and this is the pressure that happens if you don't address that problem as soon as possible. It now leads to higher ground turret. The one in the mid lane is very low as well.
Look at the minions pushing down bottom though. There's nobody going back in the base as well. Is this going to be the Winions here? Nobody's letting go of the Enhanced Overlord just yet. Mainly because they're really dictating the fight. Going back to your point there, Blam, like this is like the strength of BSE in moments that we saw them in day number 1. If you had a lead for BSE, make sure you know how to finish the game because this is like their capital right on the bat. Because this lineup right now of BSE is slowly doing wonders.
Yeah, how smart was that approach? They knew that the line was pushing in the bottom lane. Someone had to have cleaned it up, and they're like, oh, this is a free overload, but in the middle.
Speaking of cleanup, it is a little bit of cleanup here for BSE as they go in. We do see the Sage Sanctuary come from Toshi as well, so he's already out of the competition. L goes down, almost going down. He takes the kill onto Jia, but there is so much damage coming from the side of BSE. For now, they can't catch a break. All they can do is take these Vanguards from the Crystal, but they've got to address this up into the Clash lane, or else the Crystal is going to fall, right?
There's so much push. Will this be the end for the first game of DMT, though?
We'll have to wait and see. The set sail does land onto Jill, but it's not going to be enough to kind of lead up to anything. Xiang is looking pretty low, so Freddy's able to deter him from the Crystal, but it is JR with the help of the Vanguard. He gets knocked up. The Sage Sanctuary comes through. BSE open them wide in game 1.
This is how they want to start this series by taking the first game. The lineup of BSE patiently waited for the right moment to strike, and when they had it, they had a way to dictate the fight against Dominator's map.
You cannot give BSE anything. They will take everything. They will take that game from you because of the small little gaps. The mistakes that you make are monumental when going up against a team. You have to be almost mistake-free.
Yeah, they can take everything, even pain.
Yeah, let's not talk about that one. That's going to be my trauma.
Oh, yeah. Because, again, this team has a lot on their book right now because BSE really knew the assignment, and we haven't seen moments again for the last winning condition of Dominator Esports, which was Toshi, by the way, which could be the damage-dealing factor. It was so hard for him to be in tight positions, mainly because of the Lianpo. Okay, it wasn't even a good start, but it was like a force for L for the Zhongfei to be in the front line, and he got completely melted moments from a vision out of the Angelo, man.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing about BSE. I said it in the game 1, right? But it's just pure surgical. They learn in the Gorge, right? They don't take a game 1 to learn. They just like, hey, right, okay, if we can last the 15 minutes, if we can get to the Shadow, at the actual neutral objectives, right? They then start to take those. They give the pressures into the side lanes like we saw there with Xiang, and it just kind of just opens up because we know DMT are very scrappy.
Well, with that, okay, we just want to go back to what happened to game number 1. This is the highlights of that game.
Hi everyone, I'm Yuhan, and I'm the official 2024 HOK Championship Observer. The tournament highlight of the day is here. 3, 2, 1, showtime!
So when you're starting on a game against BSE, this is
First
a
blood.
perfect game, right? Setting yourself up for success. Dominator, few teams have been able to do this with BSE, where they take advantage of yes, one-on-one, but if you look at some of the team fights that happened in, say, recent one but Freddy dies early, but they get to trade off and turn the 20 damage on that bottom C1 counter-attack by L, who decides to go in and get the nice start doing some work, but it lets Churl start to pull people up. He starts to do some serious damage.
Red
They need to
team has
respect
slain
that, right?
an enemy.
So again, Dominator Esports is great early game, but this is kind of where things get a little hasty.
Yeah, I mean, I'd extend it to great early game from mid game personally, but it's where you kind of see the sunset come through, right? So he is a early game hero. He does a lot of great damage in a 1v1 potential up into the clash lane, but that set sail, you can use it as a intel finder. You can try and find Freddy. You can use it into the backline, which we saw. And it's a great way to set up onto a Zhang Fei, right? Like, if you knock him up, you can deal the damage from the Lady Sun, and then he's out of the equation in the team fight.
Yeah, BSE has been layering it amazingly. This tight corners, this was the moment of Zihong to just completely snowball into the damage items. Magic as well, and this slowly entered the pace of pushing everything away from DMT's map.
Yeah, look at how the fact that like BSE are able to just push people apart. Freddy all the way. Where are you? 1 versus 5. How are you able to do this? Toshi is trying to do as much damage as possible. Not able to get any picks off on this one. So again, Freddy, yeah, you're going in, but you need help. You need to ensure that the rest of your team is there. Not everyone is as fast as you. You've got that extreme speed.
They do have the extreme speed, but I mean, this makes me happy, right? I mean, DMT have definitely succeeded everybody's kind of expectations going against BSE. Even though it's a game on loss, they can take to the drawing board and try something different. I think the team needs to realize that BSE, you have to beat them on a timer. They need a little leg timer on the stage. When it goes ding ding, time's up.
I think BSE could actually stand for like base, right? It's like you kind of need to look after your base, because in the late stage of the game, it's not just micro, but also macro, and this is the identity of BSE. And our MVP is none other than Xiang.
Yes, I did say about the sunset. I mean, it's not great in the kills, nothing great in the KDA, right? But it's a setup into the team fight. It's making those macro plays into those side lanes that gave a lot of pressure for BSE just to crack open the egg of DMT.
Yeah, his set sails were on point. I mean, when the fight was about to happen, he was kind of already ready and gearing to go. They were going to commit regardless. How many teams have we seen where the set sails just not been able to be right on point? It's a little late or it's a little early, and it kind of, you know, you don't really have that great team fight. Xiang on another level with this hero, Sun Tzu.
Yeah, I think it's most likely the follow-up when they know somebody could actually initiate. There were moments at DMT in a scenario that the Leon Po was peeled completely, and that was a great response from Xiang, which they knew they needed to have some sort of backup, because the front line of DMT is just really hard in the follow-up of Gun and Mojo. He has been very on point with those blades.
Yeah, I mean, even the gold lead here, right, compared to Xiang to Xipangs, you can see that the macro is here for this player and not for this player. We saw Xipangs was able to kind of try in the early game to give priority over to the neutral objectives, especially with the teleport down to the mid lane, trying to set it up for his team, but man, that gold lead between those two was crazy. Like 2K difference in the clash lane alone.
Zihong and Musang King adding towards the clash lane 100% on team fights. This is the zone. This is like the danger zone of BSE that DMT was forced to be on a tight defense and possibly make a miracle play. But it was so hard. Even Freddy was like, okay, I would need to participate in team fights rather than reach somebody who's being vulnerable into the back line. But it was just so hard. That's why Toshi was really struggling to pop off those kind of damage items in the later stages of the game.
Yeah, Toshi was trying to do everything that he could, though. I think the team fights didn't really handle as well as possible. But again, let's talk about this gold grab here. Dominator Esports had a huge lead at that 12-minute mark. But again, BSE finding ways, finding cracks in the armor, and they were able to just kind of get themselves back into this. BSE right now, they should be grateful that they got this one game. But again, Dominator Esports let this game go.
Wow, looking at this